guys, welcome to my channel, Everything Martha. Today I am in my kitchen and I'm gonna share a recipe with you guys. It is a recipe that I usually make just for the holidays. It's usually for Thanksgiving, and so this recipe was given to me by a good friend many years ago, and ever since I've been doing it every Thanksgiving and we love it. It's delicious. This Thanksgiving I made a lot. So I had a lot left over, and so I decided that instead of, I hate to let it go to waste. So I cut it up and I gave it to my daughter so she could take it to her work so her and her co-workers could enjoy it. And it was a large amount, and like a couple hours later she sent me a picture of the container that I sent it in, and it was empty. It was gone. And so this year, somebody that she's having a gift exchange with really loved the recipe, and so as part of her present she asked me, my daughter did, she asked me if I would make another batch of this recipe. And so I'm gonna make a smaller batch, obviously, because she just wants to give it to her as part of her gift, since she had told her, do you guys make it for Christmas? Because if you do, can you bring me some? So she's good, she's asked me to make that for her, and I'm gonna do that today. And so I thought I would share the recipe with you because it's so delicious and it's so quick and it's so easy. And so yes, and it is a recipe of corn soufflé. And oh my goodness, it is so good. So I'm gonna start making that today, and I'm gonna share the recipe with you. I hope that you will try it and enjoy it. It's really delicious, so I hope you do. So I'm gonna turn you around now and we're gonna get started with this recipe. I'm gonna tell you what you will need to make it. Okay guys, and I am doubling the recipe, okay? So that's why I am using 2 of everything. You can always make a single batch, which would be half of what I'm using. Okay, so I am going to be using, the recipe calls, if you're going to do a single batch, it calls for 8 ounces of sour cream. So I have 2 8-ounce containers of sour cream because I'm doubling the recipe. It calls for sweet corn, cream style. Excuse me. So like I said, I'm doubling on that. It calls for 1 box of Jiffy corn muffin mix. It calls for 1/4 cup of butter for each single batch of the recipe. So I have 1 whole stick, which is 2 1/4 cups. It calls for 2 eggs for each batch, and it calls for a large tablespoon of sugar, and I usually go a little heavy-handed on that because I like it on the sweet side. So I also have a large bowl to mix it all in, and a mixer over there, which is, boy, I've had that mixer for a long time. And I'm gonna be using this disposable aluminum pan, which is really pretty. And also first, before I pour the mix in there, I am going to spray it with some Pam so that it doesn't stick. So, okay, so this is all that you're going to need. Obviously, if you want to triple the recipe, you just get 3 of the corn, 3 of the 8-ounce sour cream, 3 of the Jiffy, then you would put 6 eggs, then you would put a stick and a half of the butter, and you get it. Okay, so I'm gonna start making this recipe, and like I said, you will not regret trying this recipe. It's so easy and fast, and it is so delicious. So let's get started. And I'm cracking my last egg. Okay, and I hope that you guys don't make the same mistake that I made. I have done this recipe, I can't tell you how many times, and when I was at the store, I guess I wasn't looking good enough, and I bought 1 can of whole kernel corn, and I had to run to the store and grab another one just now of the of the cream corn, which I have 2 of now. So when you're picking out your corn, your cans of corn, please be attentive and don't do what I did. Okay, so we're ready to start, and I am going to start out by spraying this aluminum pan with some Pam, and just put that to the side. And you're gonna get your bowl that you're going to use to mix your ingredients in. And I'm gonna start out, I already opened all the containers by adding the 2 boxes of the Jiffy corn muffin mix. And they both go in there. And I'm gonna try and break up some of those balls that they have from being sitting in the shelf for such a long time. Okay, and that's good. Now I'm gonna add the 2 8-ounce containers of sour cream, and I purposely get a light one and a regular one. I thought, well, maybe a little bit less fat won't hurt anybody. So you can, you know, the recipe calls for regular sour cream, but I always try to balance it off a little bit by getting a regular one and a low fat one. Not fat free, but just a low fat one. Okay, and I'm putting that in, and in goes the second container. And I could tell right away that the light one is a little bit less thick than the regular. But I always do it that way and it comes out delicious, okay? So, in go the eggs, and you just go and you put it all in there. Okay. Now I have melted the stick of butter and I let it cool. So I'm gonna be adding the butter. And the 2 cans of creamed corn go in. And now comes the sugar, and it calls for 1 large tablespoon of sugar. And like I said, I don't measure, and I know I add more than that tablespoon, but I like it sweet, and that's the way I've always made it. So I just add a whole bunch. Probably, I would say it's like a 1/4 cup that I add in there. Okay, so it's all the ingredients are in there now, and it's time to just mix it all together. And it's as easy as that, you guys. How could something so easy be so delicious? But it is. So let me start mixing this. And you know what? It does call for 1 large tablespoon, but it's per batch. So since I'm doing 2 batches, I'm gonna just add a little bit more of the sugar. And there you have it, you guys. It's really thick, and it's just, you have to try it. So now it's time to pour it into the pan. And for Thanksgiving, I made 5 batches of this. Let me put it so that you could see. I hope that you will try it and let me know how much you like it. I just know you're gonna love it. Okay, let's see if I made a good amount for this pan. I made too much because it does grow a little bit, so you don't want it overflowing like it has happened to me sometimes. So I think this is gonna be perfect. So I'm gonna get my spatula And I'm gonna just pour it all out. And I just move it around like this. And I've been preheating my oven at 350. And so the recipe calls that you bake it for 1 hour, but depending on how many batches you make, you may leave it a little bit longer. When you insert a toothpick into the center and it comes out clean, then it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in my preheated oven, and when it's done, I will come back so you can see what it looks like. Okay, you guys, so I put it in the oven and that's what it looks like. I always like to put a pan under it just in case I did add too much and some of it just spills over, but it shouldn't, because as long as you leave like 1 inch to 1.5 inches on top, that should not happen. So I'm gonna let this bake for like 1 hour or so, and I'll be back and show you what it looks like. Unfortunately, I won't be able to taste it for you because, like I said, this is going to be part of a gift for a Christmas exchange, but I promise you that if you try it, you will love it, and I hope that if you do, that you'll let me know. So we'll be back when it's done. Okay, you guys, and the souffle is done. The house smells delicious. I'm gonna take it out now so you can take a closer look. Okay, you guys, and I took the souffle out, and you let it cool off, and then it's nice to eat it at room temperature, but if you eat it the next day and you had to refrigerate it, then you just go ahead and heat it up a little bit. But it is delicious. I so hope that you guys will try it, because I am so sure you're going to enjoy it, and your whole family as well. I hope you give me a thumbs up and share my videos, and that you'll subscribe to my channel. Later on, I might be putting up another recipe. This is my own recipe that I made up, but my family loves it. It has to do with a turkey tenderloin, and so stay tuned for that. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Ciao. Bye.